day, friends. Welcome to Planet XSF. Please keep your hands and arms inside the video at all times. It's time for episode 5, and it's time to use the phrase that most folks here usually include. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this channel. It'll keep encouraging me to keep doing these things. Today, we're looking at what is often considered a monumental science fiction TV failure that had many of the ingredients for success, but lacked a functional kitchen to cook it in. Today, we seek out the Starlost. The Starlost is a Canadian-produced science fiction television series created by writer Harlan Ellison. The series aired in 1973 on CTV in Canada and was syndicated to local stations in the United States. The show is set on a massive generational colony spacecraft called Earthship Ark, which is 50 miles wide and 200 miles long. The Ark was built to save humanity from the destruction of Earth by housing dozens of biospheres, each containing different cultures. However, an unspecified accident caused the ship to go off course, and centuries later, most of the descendants of the original crew and colonists are unaware that they're aboard a spaceship.
Earthship Ark, man's greatest and final achievement, out of control, drifting through deep space over 800 years into the far future. Its passengers, descendants of the last survivors of the dead planet Earth, locked in separate worlds, their destination long forgotten. Heading for destruction unless 3 young people can save the Starlost.
The story begins in the year 2790, 405 years after the accident. Devon, played by Keir Dullea from 2001: A Space Odyssey, a resident of Cypress Corners, an agrarian community resembling the Amish, discovers that his world is much larger and more mysterious than he had originally realized. Already considered an outcast because of his questioning of the way things are, especially his refusal to accept the arranged marriage of his love Rachel, played by Canadian actress Gay Rowan, to his friend Garth, played by Canadian actor and future game show host Robin Ward. He learns that the elders of Cypress Corners have been manipulating the local computer terminal, which they call the voice of the creator. The congregation pursues Devon for attacking the elders and stealing a computer cassette on which they have recorded their orders, and its leaders plot to execute him. But the elderly Abraham, who also questions the elders, gives the outcast Devon a key to a dark, mysterious doorway, which Abraham himself is afraid to enter. The frightened Devon escapes into the service areas of the ship and accesses a computer data station named Mu Lambda, portrayed throughout the series by William Osler, who also performed the narration for the show's opening. The computer terminal explains to Devon the nature and the purpose of the Ark, and hints at its problems.
Can I be of assistance? What can I do for you?
Who are you?
I'm Mu Lambda 165, automatically programmed for general information. Can I help you? Earthship Ark traveled for... Reprogram, update. Earthship Ark traveled for 100 years before any indication of the difficulty. Then there was an accident. Then there was an accident. Then there was an accident.
Wait. Wait, stop. Hey! Stop. What happened?
Devon returns to Cypress Corners to share the truth with its inhabitants, but he is put on trial for heresy and condemned to death by stoning. Escaping the night before his execution with the aid of Garth, Devon convinces Rachel to come with him, and Garth pursues them. When Rachel refuses to return with Garth, he joins her and Devon. Eventually, they make their way to the ship's bridge containing the skeletal remains of its crew. It is badly damaged, and its control systems are inoperative. The 3 discover that the Ark is on a collision course with what's called a Class G star, similar to the Sun, and realize that the only way to save the Ark and its passengers is to find the backup bridge at the other end of the Ark, and to reactivate the navigation and propulsion systems. The other end of the Ark is potentially several hundred miles away, which poses a challenge to the inexperienced heroes. Throughout the series, Devon, Rachel, and Garth explore the various biospheres of the Ark, encountering different cultures and trying to find a way to save the ship, which is problematic because, as I said, many of the biosphere inhabitants, like those in Cypress Corners, have completely forgotten they're on a spaceship at all. The series was in part developed by Douglas Trumbull, a visual effects legend responsible for the film Silent Running, which served kind of as an indirect inspiration for the Starlost. And, of course, Harlan Ellison, an iconoclastic science fiction author, who conceived of the project as an epic space adventure, assuming that the 20th Century Fox studio was in full support of the development and sale of the proposed series across North America. Originally, part of the proposed series appeal was based on a new special effects process called Magicam, which was comprised of 2 separate camera systems, linked by motion control, which would allow human actors to be matted onto realistic miniature sets with much fewer visual artifacts. The system failed to work reliably, however, so regular green screen and limited camera movements were used, which resulted in substandard visual effects, to say the least. In order to benefit from Canadian government subsidies, the series was filmed in what is now Scarborough, Ontario, Canada, and the failure of the Magicam system meant the studio space was now too small to be used effectively, adding another layer of complication. Harlan Ellison developed the concept for the series and wrote the first episode entitled Phoenix Without Ashes, which outlined the setting and established the tone of the series. The changing of the title to Voyage of Discovery was only one issue Ellison eventually had with the series producers. The original script won a Writers Guild of America award and was adapted into a novel by Edward Bryant, and much later, into a really good comic book by IDW in 2010. Ellison became so angry about the whole experience, including the choice for lead actor, who he considered, and I quote, as interesting as a bowl of old Rice Krispies, that he demanded his credit for the series be removed and replaced by a pseudonym, Cordwainer Bird, signaling to fans of Ellison that he disavowed involvement with the series and was flipping the bird to the producers. A short description of this is the introduction to Phoenix Without Ashes, by the way. The series was filmed at the CFTO studios in what is now Scarborough, Ontario. The lack of technical sophistication among the crew of CFTO was cited as a partial explanation for the ultimate failure of the series. In a review of the series from 1973, Michael Walsh in The Province commented on the first episode, writing that he found the model work on the show impressive, while concluding it was, quote, written, directed, acted, lit, photographed, recorded, and edited like a church basement production. Although the episodes, written primarily by well-known American science fiction and television writers, are often imaginative, the episodes are poorly presented, with the issues related to insufficient budgets and talent often distracting from the stories. Among the guest stars are former Klingon John Colicos, future Space 1999 Season 1 star Barry Morse, Star Trek alumni Walter Koenig as the sinister alien Oro, and former Twilight Zone chef special Lloyd Bachner. Despite its ambitious premise, the Starlost struggled with a low budget and production challenges, leading to its cancellation after just 16 episodes. The series remains a notable and perhaps noble attempt at science fiction storytelling on television, remembered for its unique concept and wholly inept execution. Do I recommend it? Of course I do. Don't be silly. The series is entirely available on YouTube. So settle in, binge, and bring snacks. That's it for episode 5. Join me again next time as I explore a well-known yet still obscure intersection of the superhero and children's television universes, the collision of 2 rather legendary worlds. Next time, I'll tell you how to get to Gotham City. Until then, please like and subscribe for more weirdness. I'm Dave. Remain awesome until further notice. While concluding it was, quote, written, directed, acted, lit, photographed, recorded, and edited like a church basement.